I remember the exact moment I gave up on cheap sandwich makers. I had crafted the perfect sourdough turkey melt, only to have my flimsy grill crush it into a soggy, lukewarm pancake. Sound familiar? Finding a panini press that actually toasts evenly without destroying your lunch is a nightmare, especially with thousands of misleading reviews online. I've spent the last month rigorously testing the top contenders to save you the heartbreak. Today, we are counting down the 7 best panini presses, including one surprising powerhouse that completely changed my kitchen game. Let's dive in. Seven, Chefman Panini Press Grill. Out of the box, this appliance has a sleek, minimalist aesthetic that fits nicely into smaller kitchens without hogging valuable counter real estate. It features a stainless steel exterior that looks reasonably modern and is incredibly lightweight, making it easy to store in a cabinet when you are done. The manufacturer proudly advertises a floating hinge intended to accommodate sandwiches of various sizes, which initially gave me high hopes for my lunchtime creations. However, once I began testing this unit with a standard deli sandwich, the reality didn't quite match the expectations. The grill heats up remarkably fast, which is great if you're in a rush, but I immediately noticed that the heat distribution is frustratingly uneven. The center of the plates gets incredibly hot, while the outer edges remain significantly cooler, leading to a sandwich that is charred in the middle and unappealingly pale on the sides. The much-touted floating hinge also proved to be quite problematic during my hands-on testing. When I attempted to press a thicker artisan ciabatta roll, the hinge failed to level out properly. Instead of an even press, it clamped down hard on the back of the sandwich, aggressively crushing the rear while barely making contact with the front edge, causing all the fillings to squish out onto the counter. Finally, when it comes time to clean up, you're going to need some patience. The nonstick plates are entirely fixed and cannot be removed, which makes scrubbing hardened, melted cheese off the grill ridges a tedious chore. 6. Hamilton Beach Panini Press. This model looks a bit more robust and promises a cafe-style floating lid to give you that authentic coffee shop panini experience at home. It certainly has a bit more heft to it compared to the Chefman, and the chrome-style finish gives it a classic diner appearance. The spacious cooking surface easily fits 2 large sandwiches at once, which is a definite plus for making lunch for multiple people at the same time. While I put it to the test with a heavily loaded Italian sub, I ran into some frustrating design quirks. The floating lid mechanism has a locking feature that is supposed to let you hover the top plate for open-face melts, but I found the locking arm to be incredibly finicky and prone to slipping out of place. Furthermore, the top plate is surprisingly heavy, meaning if you aren't careful when lowering it, it will completely flatten softer breads like brioche or white loaves into absolute pancakes. Another major drawback I experienced during testing is the complete lack of temperature control. There is no adjustable dial or digital setting. You simply plug it in and wait for the green ready light to illuminate. Because it runs at a single, extremely high temperature, you are forced to constantly monitor your food. If you leave a thick sandwich in long enough to melt the cheese in the center, you're almost guaranteed to burn the outer crust before the inside is ready. Maintenance is also a bit of a headache with the Hamilton Beach model. Much like the previous press, the cooking plates are permanently attached to the base. 5. George Foreman Compact 2-serving electric indoor grill. Now, I was initially skeptical about whether a device primarily marketed as a fat-reducing meat grill could hold its own as a dedicated panini press. However, its compact, space-saving design quickly won me over, especially for those living in apartments or dorms where kitchen space is at an absolute premium and multitasking appliances are essential. During my testing, I found that the famous slope design actually works surprisingly well for pressing sandwiches. The heavy top plate provides an excellent, even weight distribution that yields deep, crispy grill marks on your bread. You do have to be slightly careful, as the angled surface means a very slippery sandwich heavily loaded with mayo or oil might try to slide forward. But once the bread catches the heat, It locks beautifully into place and presses perfectly. What makes this grill truly stand out in this spot is its sheer, reliable versatility. Unlike a standard panini press, I was able to grill 2 raw chicken breasts to juicy perfection, wipe down the plates, and then immediately construct a fantastic grilled chicken panini right on the same machine. The heating elements are consistent, powerful, and provide edge-to-edge heat that ensures your food is cooked perfectly evenly every single time. Cleanup is where the George Foreman brand has genuinely perfected its craft over the years. Even though this specific compact model does not feature removable plates, their advanced George Tough non-stick coating is nothing short of miraculous. A simple wipe with a damp paper towel while the plates were still slightly warm was all it took to remove baked-on cheese and crusty breadcrumbs. 4. Yedi Total Package 6-in-1 Grill. This is an absolute beast of a kitchen appliance. From the moment I unboxed it, the premium nature of the machine was obvious. The sheer volume of accessories included in the box is staggering, featuring not just standard panini plates, but completely swappable waffle plates as well, making this a true multifunctional breakfast and lunch station for the whole family. The standout feature during my testing was undoubtedly the digital control panel. This was an absolute game changer for making the perfect sandwich. Having the ability to set precise, exact temperatures up to 450 degrees Fahrenheit means you have total control over the cooking process. I could set a lower temperature to slowly coax stubborn, thick-cut cheddar into melting without ever running the risk of charring the exterior of my sourdough bread. The 6-in-1 functionality is not just a clever marketing gimmick. It works flawlessly in practice. I was able to open the hinge a full 180 degrees, laying the unit completely flat to create a massive double-sided griddle. I cooked a family-sized portion of bacon and eggs for breakfast, and then simply folded it back up to press thick Cuban sandwiches for lunch. The versatility offered here is virtually unmatched at this price point. Finally, the convenience factor for cleanup cannot be overstated. The cooking plates on the Yedi are fully removable with a simple click of a button, and they are completely dishwasher safe. No more carefully wiping down a heavy appliance over the sink. Yes, the unit is a bit bulky and takes up significant counter space, but because it effectively replaces a griddle, a waffle maker, and a standard press, it easily earns its spot on this list. 3. GreenPan Elite Multi-Grill. As soon as I took this out of the packaging and plugged it in, the premium build quality was absolutely undeniable. It boasts a sleek, modern silhouette, but the real star of the show is GreenPan's signature thermal and volt healthy ceramic non-stick coating, which is completely free of PFAS, PFOA, lead, and cadmium for the health-conscious cook. Testing the ceramic plates was an eye-opening experience. Ceramic transfers and retains heat very differently compared to traditional Teflon-coated presses. I found that it created this beautifully even, deeply golden brown and shatteringly crisp crust on my artisan breads that I simply could not replicate with the lower-ranked models. It essentially toasts the bread rather than just searing it, elevating the texture of your sandwich to a true restaurant-quality level. One of the most impressive features I tested was the independent dual-zone temperature control. Being able to set the bottom plate to a high searing heat while keeping the top plate on a gentle warming temperature is an absolute revelation. I used this feature to make perfect open-faced tuna melts, crisping the bottom bread flawlessly while gently melting the cheese on top without ever needing to turn on my kitchen oven's broiler. The reversible plates add yet another layer of elegant functionality, allowing you to seamlessly switch between a flat griddle and a ridged grill. The entire unit looks incredibly sophisticated sitting on the countertop, and the ceramic plates wipe totally clean with zero effort. It is a highly engineered, sophisticated machine for anyone who takes their sandwich crafting seriously and wants a toxin-free cooking environment. 2. Ninja IG651. Calling this merely a panini press feels like a massive understatement. It is a highly advanced, smart griddle and grill system. The very first time I used it, the significant heft, the heavy-duty materials, and the sheer power output were immediately apparent. This is a machine designed for serious, high-heat cooking that just so happens to make a phenomenal sandwich. The most groundbreaking feature I tested is the integrated smart thermometer system. I decided to push its limits by making a massive, thick-cut steak in provolone panini. I simply inserted the thermometer into the steak, selected my desired doneness on the intuitive digital display, and let the machine do the work. The result was genuinely staggering. The meat inside was a flawless edge-to-edge medium rare, while the outside bread was crisp to absolute perfection. It completely removes all the guesswork from cooking. Unlike traditional, flat panini presses, the Ninja features a unique hood design. This allows you to trap ambient heat, essentially turning the device into a mini oven on your countertop. This design choice is brilliant for melting incredibly thick layers of cheese or heating up dense, bulky artisan breads without having to smash them down into a cracker to get the heat to penetrate to the center of the sandwich. Furthermore, the smoke control technology is incredibly effective. Even when searing meats at maximum temperature before pressing my sandwich, the kitchen remained totally smoke-free. The heavy-duty non-stick grates are incredibly durable and easy to pull out for washing. It is incredibly close to absolute perfection and offers unparalleled cooking power for the ambitious home chef who wants to do it all. One, Cuisinart Jar 4 MP1 5-in-1 Griddler. After weeks of rigorous testing, this machine consistently and effortlessly outperformed everything else in its class. It manages to strike the absolute perfect balance between approachable price, professional-grade performance, and long-lasting durability, making it the ultimate staple for any kitchen setup. The floating cover mechanism on this Cuisinart is flawlessly engineered. Whether I was gently pressing a delicate, flaky croissant filled with brie or bearing down on a massive, overstuffed meatball sub, the hinge adjusted instantly and perfectly. It applies exactly the right amount of even pressure across the entire surface of the food without ever aggressively crushing the ingredients or pushing your fillings out the sides of the bread. While the dual-zone analog temperature dials might seem a bit old-school compared to the digital screens of its competitors, I found them to offer incredibly precise and reliable control. You can dial in the exact heat you need in seconds. The reversible grill and griddle plates heat up with remarkable speed, and more importantly, they maintain their temperature perfectly consistently across every square inch of the cooking surface, guaranteeing you will never have a sandwich with a cold center again. In terms of design and maintenance, it is an absolute dream. It sports a beautiful, classic brushed stainless steel housing that looks right at home in any kitchen aesthetic, whether modern or traditional. When you are done cooking, the plates pop out instantly with a simple push of a side release button and go straight into the dishwasher for effortless cleaning. It is the ultimate kitchen workhorse, incredibly versatile, and undeniably the best panini press on the market today.